Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is crazy. I actually thought I lost this channel because I switched phones and totally forgot to switch the phone number. But thank goodness I still have my old laptop. This is from 2020 something, 2021 or 2022, I think. And this was like an approved device and I was able to sign in on it, and then I was able to add this phone number to it. So shout out to Google. I am back and I really wanted to post because I used to be so obsessed with this YouTube channel, and I don't know if any of you remember. I might be popping up on some of your For You pages. I actually don't know if that's what you call it on YouTube, but like kind of like I might be popping up, and that's because I DM'd a bunch of you in like 2019, 2020, all of those times. And then I was like, oh, I want to start a YouTube channel. Please follow me. Please like and subscribe. And then I would post all the time, like every day. I was posting like these silly videos, and now you'll only see a couple of them up because I took most of them down. But I just had to hop back on. And if any of you are people I met on Instagram, I deleted Instagram, so I don't have it anymore. And I have the day off of school, which I didn't know that I was going to. It's like a surprise, not because anybody surprised me, but because I'm illiterate and didn't read. Here I am. And I kind of wanted to talk about what my life looks like now. I never shared that much of it. Sorry. Sorry, that was my cat. I never shared that much of it because, without going too into detail, I come from a very abusive household, and the reason you probably saw so many name changes on my channel is because I was trying to change it so that people couldn't track me down, and now I have landed on LJ, and that's just the name from now on. And if you're somebody who is an unsafe person who's watching this, I don't care. Like, you can do whatever you want. I've always loved YouTube, even when I only had 5 subscribers and I was posting like every single day. I remember when I reached 100, it was like a huge deal. I remember actually when I reached 1,000, I had that at one point, and that was a huge deal. So I really wanted to come back and just say a hello and kind of give a life update, mainly about those creatures that matter to me the most. That is Butchie. She keeps coming up to me, and that is Korma. So yeah, I kind of wanted to tell the story of how I ended up with not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6. Don't make a 6-7 joke.
Don't make a 6-7 joke.
Not 7, actually not 7, it is 6. I have 6 pets, 4 cats and 2 turtles, and you will see many cute clips of them. Actually, maybe not many, I don't know how many I have on my phone, but some cute clips of them if you stay tuned. So I wanted to start with the turtles that we got. Their names are Grant Perez and turtle number 2, TNT for short. And we got them from this guy who was kind of just like clearing house, and he didn't want turtles anymore. We like paid for them, we got them, and we brought them home. And this was supposed to like fix my urge of wanting pets, because I really wanted pets, and my fiance did not grow up with a single pet. He never had a pet. And then he didn't want any pets because he was like, well, I've never had a pet before. But I really wanted pets. I've always loved animals, and I've always wanted to take care of as many as I could. So I wanted to have some pets of my own to fill that void in my heart. And so we got these 2 turtles after a while of me begging, and these turtles, I love them very much, Grant Perez and turtle number 2. Grant Perez is named after my favorite musical artist. If you're an OG, you know that I once posted an entire video about Grant Perez and how much I love his music. Turtles don't cuddle. They don't vibe with you like that. They don't cuddle. They aren't really touchy-feely animals. So every day, I would like want to play with them. I'd want to like hold them in my hand, And they were just kind of like,
girl, put me down.
Put me down and I want to go burrow in the dirt. And that's still all that they do. And I don't regret getting them and I love them very much. They don't do that much. They're a lot bigger now. We probably got them when they were like this big and maybe they're like this big now. So they're bigger and they're still really cute. As you can see from the photos, you can see their little nostrils, but they just don't do much. So we have our turtles. They are in a great enclosure that my fiance built. It's this like big wooden planter box. He has this light system that'll turn on and off, and then we switch off on who feeds them and who finds them as well. I get a little grossed out because if you have a giant tub of dirt in your house, whether like no matter how clean you are, there will be bugs in it. And I definitely saw a centipede the other day. So right now he's on find and feed duty, but I'll like bring him the food. And for a while, he was the only one who would feed them because the food is mealworms. And if you know me, I don't eat meat. So it was kind of sad for me and gross for me to watch them eat these living creatures. I kind of got used to it, even though I disagree with it fundamentally, but they are turtles and so they need them to survive. And they also eat fish bones for calcium. We used to use a calcium powder, but now they gnaw on the fish bones, so we don't have to. And every day I'd come home and want to play with them. And for the first while, I needed my fiance's help finding them, or he'd need my help finding them, because they were so tiny and we had this big tank for them. So they would just like hide in the dirt and then we'd like search for literally like maybe an hour sometimes, and we wouldn't be able to find them. And then they'd just pop up out of nowhere, or they'd be under a rock or something. That issue, hold on, this is Cornlet. He just peed on the desk. He pees pretty much anywhere there's cloth, because he's not getting neutered, but I'll get into that later. So the fish were great. They just weren't they weren't enough to satisfy this urge I had for a cuddly, sweet pet like Cormy Wormy. So, yeah. So I really wanted a cat, which is insane. Because if you told younger me that I wanted a cat, I would be like, no, I love dogs. I need a dog in my life. But everybody that I worked with who had a dog was always talking about how they needed to go home and walk the dog, or they needed to go home and feed the dog, or they needed to go home and play with the dog. And I'm not talking like at the end of our workday, which typically ends like around 3:30. I'm talking in the middle. I'm a teacher, so I'm talking in the middle of the workday. Like they would teach a class, need to run home, and then come back. That seemed like torture. Like I was kind of like, if I'm gonna do that, I might as well just have a child. But I discovered cats are a lot more independent in terms of like, I can leave for work and come back without worrying that they pooped on the floor. Actually, he pees all the time on the floor. But I really wanted, I really wanted a cat. I wanted a cat so badly. So we went to the pet store, and this was not for a cat. We went for our turtles to get them like a rock or something. And they had like this little cat sanctuary in the back that you could adopt a cat from. And so there was this woman, and her name was Anna Banana, and she would crochet a bunch of things. And so all the proceeds would go towards these cats. And so we paid for some seat cushion that was like way overpriced, and I brought some things that I crocheted. Kind of things that I crochet. This is like a little bee that I made. Wait, she's being cute. That's my butchie. She's very sweet. So anyways, I really wanted a cat, and then we were here at this cat sanctuary where this woman, Anna Banana, was like, she was like very hippy-dippy about cats, and she was like, it's not that you own a cat, it's that they're your life partner. Like, she was like very into cats, which I get now because I have 4 cats. I was like talking with her, she was telling us all about how she has cats like with AIDS and feline leukemia, and she has like 20 cats that like live in her house, and she just takes care of them. And I was like, I think I'm seeing a glimpse into my future. Anna Banana was also a little bit playing on racial stereotypes. Like when we met, she was like, are you Indian? I love Indians. And Anna Banana was maybe 80, and again, like probably inhaling a lot of cat pee unintentionally. So I give Anna Banana my piece, but I wish that people did not assume things about me because of my race. because I could be a horrible person, and I've definitely met horrible Indians before. So I really wanted to adopt from there. And I asked this woman, because they had this cat that was in a different room than the other cats, and that was because the cat was aggressive. And Annie, if you're watching this, who was like my sort of roommate in college, we like lived in, it doesn't matter, whatever. We were like, we didn't share a room, but we were roommates. We were gonna live in an apartment together, and I kept talking about how I really wanted to, I guess I really wanted a cat with her too. Because I remember I really wanted a cat, and I was like, I want to get like a feral cat and then teach the cat to love us. And then she was like, I don't want a feral cat, like I want a normal cat, which is so valid. But I've always wanted like a cat that kind of struggles socially so that I could like help and rehabilitate. Anyways, so I was like asking, and I was like, oh, can I like meet some of the cats? I'm like really interested in adopting. And this other lady comes, and she's super mean, and she's like, have you ever had a cat before? And I was like, well, no, but like I used to pet sit, because I would pet sit chickens and dogs and cats, and I would also inject medication in for them. Like I did it all. I literally would have to pry a cat's mouth open and put in medication every night, and it was disgusting, but I would do it. I'm like, oh yeah, I've had all these experiences. And she's like, okay, but you've never had a cat before. I'm like, no, we haven't. And they were like, and then they asked about like a landlord and stuff, which is really complicated if any of you also work at private boarding schools, because you don't really have a landlord. And so I was just like, we own our residence, which I mean, I don't know. Don't lie, of course, but I lied. She was like, okay, so you fill this out, and then we pair you with the cat that you can meet. And then if we think it's a good fit, then you can take the cat home. And I was like, oh, because I don't know about you guys, but if I'm gonna go pick out an animal, I would like to choose the animal. And I would also like to not be called on whim. And then what if I fall in love with the animal and then they're like, yeah, we just weren't getting the right vibes. And of course, I'm sure she was doing that because she had like the resources to, and it's super important to vet people. But also I want to pick my own damn cat. We got in the car, and then I said, oh, but me and my fiance always say she yearns for the ceiling. She likes to like look up. These are like soundproof. And she likes to be like, what is going on? Hi, baby girl. She likes to be like, what's going on? And like she wants to get up there. So anyways, I wanted a cat. And so I was like, let's just go to the MSPCA. Let's just wander over there. And I'll just look at cats and I'll just ask them questions. So we go, we look, and I ask some questions. And I fell, oh, but she's so cute. I think she's also a little bit confused because there's like glass there. And she's probably like, girl, what is this? No, I think, oh, she loves, oh, do you see her little paws? She always does that for the ceiling. She almost, because she wants to get up there. It's so cute. Oh, Butchie, hi, little girl. Come here. Okay, she's probably not gonna come here. But anyways, I really wanted to pick out my own cat. And I was a little bummed because at the sanctuary, I was already kind of eyeing this black cat and the feral cat. Not feral, but the unsocialized cat that was in the, that was in the sanctuary. But I couldn't even see the cats. And even if I could, or I couldn't like go pet them. And even if I could, I wasn't allowed to take any home. I went to the local cat shelter, and I just went to ask questions. I was gonna ask like, we have turtles. I did ask a million questions. I wrote them on my notes app. And then, oh my gosh, she's so cute. She's so cute. Come here. Come on. So, sorry. I'm like the world's worst YouTuber. Okay. So I really wanted to pick, oh, my baby girl. I really wanted to choose, the cat that we got because or at least wanted my fiance to choose. I would probably be fine with any cat. And so I was like looking on Pet Finder and stuff as well. Just like while we were in the car, and then I remember the next day at work maybe we didn't go. Actually, I think maybe we went to the shelter like the next day or something, because I remember at work I was looking, oh my gosh, she's so cute. I was looking at cats on Pet Finder, and I was like trying to find diseased ones because I like felt bad for them and wanted to give them a home, or like antisocial ones. And my fiance was like, I think we start with like your standard cat, And then, you know, one day we can work up to like helping cats in need. Because we don't know anything about cats. Oh, hi baby girl. Come here. Because we don't know anything about cats yet. Oh, hi. We don't know anything about cats yet. Like, what if we're just like horrible to this already like poor, sad cat? Like, that would be bad. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. And so we went to our local cat shelter. And because Pet Finder is kind of the same way. Like, you have to submit and like do all this stuff. And I don't get to like meet the cat first. It's just like, photos of the cat. She sees, I think, her brother, but okay. So it's just like photos of the cat and then you pick. And I really wanted to like see and touch a cat. That's what I wanted to do. That was my mission. So we went to the shelter and I had all these questions on my phone and I was asking, do cats get along with turtles? What can they eat? Do you recommend like free feeding or mixed feeding? And I'd like, you know, Googled stuff too. So I was obviously an expert. And I was asking these questions. We like went into the cat room and there were like a bunch of little like kind of cages along the wall, you know, to separate each cat. And I look over and I see this really cute cat who looks up at me literally like this. Take me home, Mom. That's exactly what she did, except not in English. But she did look up at me with these beautiful eyes and I was like in love, and I started asking a million questions about her. And I know like in my head I was like, my fiance is not gonna like this, because also at the time we were just boyfriend and girlfriend, and I was like, you know, I think she's really pretty, like is she up for adoption right now, you know, poking around. And they were like, no, she was just brought back because the home that she was in, she was too scared and she just kept hiding. So they just brought her back. And I was like, she was like, you know, we advise that people leave cats in one room, let them get used to it, and then open up the house. And she thinks it's likely that her old family just kind of opened up the house and she got scared and hid. She was about 3 months old. Oh my gosh. She's doing the ceiling thing again. Not that you care. Oh, sorry. That's my leg. So, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, so I really loved her and I was asking a million questions about her, but I knew we weren't yet ready for a cat. So I said goodbye to that beautiful gray cat and I thanked the lady for answering all my questions. And again, we couldn't adopt her because she needed to be there for like 24 hours to be seen by their vets before she went on the market. Her name was Gravella at the time. And as we're leaving, I was just like, sorry I asked so many questions. And he was like, no, you want that cat, right? And I was like, well, I really do, but it's okay, we don't have to. And he was like, no, we can get the cat. I was like, really? And he was like, yeah. And so I hunted for this cat every day. I was refreshing the website. I emailed like crazy and I was like, please, please, please put this cat on hold for me. Like, we can pay a deposit right now. Like, we want her. I promise we want her. But it just wasn't their practice. And so I made an appointment for right after I got off work. I think two to 3 days later. We got all the stuff for her. And I was like, please, please, like, please let her still be there. And when we got there, she was right there waiting for us. And I wanted to bring her home. So I was like, I actually got to pet her this time. And despite her being super shy, she was like really sweet. And she was like rolling over and letting me pet her. And I was overjoyed. And my fiance also wanted to choose a cat. And we hear that cats do better in pairs, which I don't know if that's just a scam by shelters or, I mean, I'm sure if they actually become playmates, it works, but that didn't exactly happen with our cats. Anyways, so my fiance got to pick a cat, which I was like, the more cats, the better. I hope he picks a cat who's like missing an eye or something. And so he chooses, I think, and I say this with no offense to my other cats, I love them each for different reasons, but I say Knock is probably my best friend. He is the goat of cats. He was this black cat, 10 weeks old. Actually, I think he was 8 weeks old when we got him. And the reason my fiance picked him is because he was banging on the wall, meowing like crazy, and when they opened the door to, I think, give him food, he started running all around the room. This was the total opposite of Neelam. Neelam was scared and like stayed in her kennel and let me pet her slowly after sniffing me, but Knock basically leaped into our arms and begged us to take him home. At least that's how I remember it. So we did, and they hated each other. We tried to do the whole slow introduction thing, and they just needed to swat it out a couple of times before they really tolerated each other. In the beginning, they'd groom each other. Now they just kind of exist in the same room and look out the same window. So we have Knock, our black cat, and Neelam, our gray cat, the cat soulmates, if you will. Not because they actually like each other, but because we forced them to. And you're probably wondering, LJ, that cat isn't black or gray. Well, like I said, we have 4 cats. I asked my fiance specifically what kind of cat he wanted, because like I said, I didn't care. And I was thinking in asking this question that he would, oh my gosh, she's being so cute. She likes to lay on his gaming chair. Oh, ow, she just bit me. That's okay. I'm wearing a bracelet, and I think she likes to play with it. Likes to play with this bracelet. Shout out to my friend for getting it for me. But anyways, in asking him this, I thought he'd say tabby, black, white, whatever type of cat he wanted. I didn't know that there were a bajillion purebred breeds of cat. And I guess when I pictured purebred breeds of dogs, that's a tongue twister, I always kind of pictured the purebreds like being mean to the mixed ones, like you can't sit with us mean girls type of mean. And in hindsight, I guess that's just not how cats work, because, or probably any animal, because they're just animals. Before we even went to the shelter, he was eyeing Norwegian forest cats, which are these super long-haired, beautiful breeds of cats, but as you probably know, any purebred breed will have likely some type of health conditions. Plus, you can get scammed in the process of looking for them. So I thought I'd found a breeder. This was a few months after we got our other 2 cats who are in our bedroom. But there were 2 cats, so there were, so I looked up breeders, a million breeders, like so many breeders. And I had conversations on the phone. The first time we almost got scammed by this guy who said he talked to me on the phone. He was German on the website, but then had a super thick Spanish accent. And things just didn't line up. And then he kept like trying to guilt me into it. He's like, wow, I already bought toys for them, and you said that you wanted them, and I already told them. And I was kind of like, I don't know if they speak English. I don't know if they understand that, like cats. So whatever, he was super sketchy and weird and didn't vet me at all, which came off as a red flag, and then insisted that we pay him over Venmo specifically, which just didn't feel right. So it was really sad because I showed my fiance the website and he fell in love with a cat that he was gonna name Kakashi because he had half his face was like gray. If you know, you know, Naruto. So that was a bummer. But I think it was a blessing in disguise because we ended up with these cats. But anyways, I spent literally, this is not a joke, weeks talking to breeders on the phone, probably spending 20 hours total because I would have the breeder on the phone and I would just be doing my work alongside, asking all the questions in my notes app and kind of multitasking. My original plan was to surprise him with these cats, but the breeder that I finally landed on was named, oh wait, probably shouldn't say her name because I'm gonna not slander, but I'm gonna say the truth of what happened. So we really wanted cats from her because she's well known for Norwegian forest cats. Like she's well known in the community, like she has a huge wait list. And so she said there would be cats born in December. And we were like, bet, when can we take them home? And she said March. So she was very specific. We had to come over one weekend. And if we couldn't make that weekend, then actually I should back up. There were different cats that were already born that we were supposed to get in February. And I was a master's student at the time and I was like really struggling and to like get work and find time. And I was like, can just my fiance come? Oh, sorry, I thought my cat peed on something. I don't know if this is annoying or not, but there's my little angel sleeping right there. And then his sister's eating. But, okay. Anyways, she tells us that if we get, well, first of all, I wanted one cat. I didn't even want any cats. I was fine with just Neelam, our gray cat. But then my fiance wanted the black cat. And of course, Nok is probably my best friend. He sleeps on me. He is the first one to greet me when I get home. He loves when I pull him up and do stretches. Like, he is my dude. But I was fine with getting one more kitten. One. That's all I wanted. But when we were on the phone, on our little group call, my fiance was here and I was here, she says, And she already knew how I felt. I only wanted one. She says they really do better in pairs. And I mute the phone and I'm like, please, 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 to this man. This is who I said it to. I said, please, I don't want to get 2 more cats. And he said, but they do better in pairs. And I'm just a really great fiance. What can I say? Wifey material, because I agree to get 2 more cats, which puts us at a grand total of 4 cats. So anyways, in January, or maybe it was early February, Knock eats a blanket. And then he needs to get surgery. And it was super traumatizing. He was still a kitten at the time, but if you don't know this, if you get a kitten who was taken away too early from his mom, they will chew on blankets and kind of like wean on them because they miss their mom, which is really sad. But he needed surgery. And we went to this weird vet. No hate if any of the vets are watching this, but you could watch the surgery. And it was 2 a.m. because it was this whole ordeal. That's a whole other story, but it was this whole ordeal. And we were watching through the glass as they took out the intestines. It was so traumatizing. And also, I mean, it didn't seem like that sterile of an environment because they were just propping the door open and stuff. But Knock is fine. He's good to this day. By the way, Knock stands for #1 cat, and he is my fiance's favorite. I call the breeder, and I used to call the breeder all the time, and we were talking on the phone for hours because she was just kind of this older woman, and I mean, I don't have any family, and I don't really mind like being an ear for a person. Like sometimes, I don't know, does this happen to anyone else? Like old people will just come up to them in the grocery store and be like, oh, like this and this and this, and like they'll just tell you things or like whatever. Like it's just kind of one of those things where I'm like, oh, I feel like you can tell when somebody needs somebody to talk to, and you can learn a lot of wisdom from people who have lived a life before. So we used to talk all the time, and by we, I mean mostly she talked and I would listen, but I never minded because I thought she was a really sweet person. And so I had obviously told her about this because she had called one day and I was like, we're having this issue, but we were set to get 2 female kittens. And I was basically like, you know, I'll let you know, but I'm sure that we can still come get them. Which, I mean, it was hard because actually, and if I tell this story later, I'll talk about it. Neelam also was throwing up fabric and we thought she would need surgery and she didn't. So we were like, you know, we're still set for these 2 female cats. And by the way, she wouldn't let us pick them. She sent a picture of the litter. The whole reason I agreed on the bonded pair, I told her on the phone, I was like, we will get a bonded pair if he can pick one that he wants, and then you can just give whoever you think would go best with that cat. And he fell in love with this cat named Snowball. He really wanted Snowball. Snowball was a boy, I think. And then she said no. She was like, no, I don't think you guys would be a good pair. You need to take these 2 girls, and they need to go together. So we didn't get to pick, and I mean, he was kind of heartbroken over it, and so was I. Not because I cared which cats we got, but more like because if we were gonna pay her as much money as we were and we didn't even get to pick the cats, that stunk. You already know how important that was to me. Remember the sanctuary part of this story? So anyways, that didn't work out. And what peeved me the most was she told me she gave these cats to 2 separate people. They went with one woman in one state and another woman in another state. So they didn't need to stay together, and we could have picked any cat, really. Whatever. So I am very angry when she tells me this, and I was like, you gave them away. But I'm very respectful as well, and I knew that just like, I mean, it was done. The cats were somebody else's, and she already had our deposit, so it was done. So I told her, I was like, he is heartbroken over this. I remember his face, it just fell. He was like excited about the cats, and I was on the phone, and he was like, wait, what? They gave him away? He was so bummed. And I was bummed too. And so I was like, he needs to pick the next cat. Like, this is not an option. And then I sent it over text because this woman, like I said, had already said we could pick them out and then switched up on us, which maybe was just because she was old, but also maybe she just like, I don't know. I don't know if she like fully remembered all of our conversations. So I was like, he needs to pick the next cat. I don't care what cat goes with the cat, but he needs to pick the next one. And so I was on a train. This was like closer to when we were going to get a litter in that was going to be born in December. We were going to get them in March. They were already born December, and then we were getting them in March. And she texts, oh no, actually the litter we were going to get wasn't born yet. So he was going to pick, and then she sent me like these like little pictures. They look like hamsters. So maybe they were just born, but when we had first talked about it, they weren't born, and then they were born, and she sent me photos. And so then she called me and I was like, hi, like I'm just on a train. And she was like, I have 2 cats. I mean, they're great. She was selling them a little too hard. She was, and rightfully so, because I love these cats. But she was like, oh, I would send the boy to be a show cat and the girl is so cute. And she sent photos of them. And I said, and she was really trying to sell me on them. I think she was trying to pressure me into saying yes right then and there. And I was like, I'll send a photo of them to my fiance, but you know, we aren't guaranteeing that we will get them because he wants to pick. And so if he doesn't want these cats, we will take the cats from the next litter. And she was like, totally. And I sent them the photos to my fiance and he was in love with the boy. He loved the boy. His name was Thor to start. And then he came with our sweet Vachi, and his name isn't Thor anymore, it's Korma. But I love them. I mean, I love them. But very quickly we learned Korma had a bad medical condition, has a bad medical condition. He has HCM. They said this could be caused by inbreeding. And when I called the breeder about this, she was like, oh, well, I got this one's parents from this person and this, and I could kind of just tell she probably originally kept really good track of where these cats came from, but at some point that stopped. And I mean, there's a million more stories I can tell about it, but this is all to say, we love our family, we love Korma and Vachi, and I don't think we'll ever go and get a purebred ever again, because they actually both have this health condition. It's just less serious in girls, and because of that, Korma cannot get neutered without extreme risk. And we went to the vet and we talked about the risk, but we've decided it's not worth it because he could die. And he pees all over the place. Because basically it was like the whole apartment would be open and then at night we'd put them all in our bedroom. Or when we weren't home, they'd be all in our bedroom. And Korma would pee on our bed all the time, like all the time. And it never seeped onto the mattress, but all our comforters have his pee on them. And so I have to order all this stuff to clean it specially. I already had stuff, but that's not cutting it. And we can't even wash our comforters here because they're too big. So we have to take them and drive an hour to my fiance's parents' house and spend a day there so that we can wash them there. And yeah, it's pretty much torture. Vachi is spayed. She got spayed and they said that her heart went into distress. And remember, she has a less serious version of what he has. So if her heart went into distress and then, you know, she ended up fine, she's here with us now, his heart is definitely not going to be okay. They talked about some preventative things they can do, but we're not risking it. We'd rather clean up pee forever than risk our Korma's life. So just now he actually peed on the desk because I had a paper towel roll on it. He just peed on it because he pees on anything cloth that he can get his hands on. So in this room, we have a couple of cloth things that I'm okay with getting pee on them. Oh, hi, Vachi. Oh, I was gonna show you. Oh yeah, so I have like a blanket there from a really good friend and his bed and a towel up there. And if he pees on them, I will just deep clean them. But we have 4 cats and 2 turtles and we love our whole family and we love each other. And I mainly wanted to make this video to share that despite coming from the worst circumstances, and maybe I'll talk about some of it one day, but definitely not yet. Despite having a horrible upbringing and surviving things that are, I mean, I can't even talk about it. Despite like literally not even wanting to, I didn't even want to picture what my next family would be like because I never knew what to picture. I picked a really, really, really wonderful person, and together we have built a huge family already. And after we get married, I hope to add actual human babies into this family. But for now, we love our six scaly and furry babies. And I really hope to post on this more. I'm doing this a little bit to procrastinate doing work, but also because I really, really, really miss this. If you stayed till the end, thank you. And yeah, I'll update you guys another time. If any of you are interested in learning more details about Knox blanket story or more details about the breeder that we dealt with or whatever, I guess all I have to say is that even if you vet your breeder as much as possible and they have a great reputation, there are risks from getting from a breeder, and it's just better to get an animal that definitely needs a home and who probably won't have one otherwise. I talked to this woman who lives in the South, and she transports animals up to the East Coast, specifically cats, because there's such a bad problem down there with cats just reproducing all the time. So if any of you are interested in learning more about that as well, let me know and I can make a video or I can give you info in the comments. We actually ended up fostering, well, 2 cats we just transported because I found somebody at my school who wants them. 2 cats we fostered and found homes for, and 1 cat we also fostered and found a home for. So if any of you are interested in learning about my time fostering, I would love to talk about it. My fiance and I are putting the brakes on fostering, getting ready for the wedding, and after the wedding, I am allowed to reconsider my fostering dreams, but for now, I'm gonna tuck them away. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being a part of this random channel that might be at the bottom of your subscriptions, and I hope that you like this video. Yeah, let me know. Let me know what type of content you guys want. I know I did a lot of vlogs, but I also love yapping, as you can tell. So, all right, thank you guys. Oh, and I still write all the time, and I would love to tell you about it. And actually, before I go, let me just give a breakdown of each of their names. Knock, number 1 cat. Neelam means sapphire or gray. This ring is sapphire. We got her before the ring. I wanted the ring because of her. Sapphire. Kurma is an avatara, or like a version of Lord Vishnu, who is like one of the 3 main gods in Hinduism. And he was kind of like a turtle who protected the earth. And so that's a really interesting story that if any of you are interested in Hindu mythology, I would love to tell it. And then we have Vachi, whose name is very similar to my name in real life, the name that I go by at work and stuff. And I also am writing a story, and the main character's name is Vachi. So let me know if any of you want any writing updates or anything like that. But yeah, that's how I ended up with 6 pets, an 8 creature family, and I am signing off. Gonna go do some work now. Bye bye.